What's up everyone, it's Scotty with Money Vesting. In this video we are going to be talking about NIO, SOFI, Tesla, and PLTR. You guys love these updates, so we're going to do a quick technical update, and I'm also going to break down the cost basis for these companies among all investors in the market, so that's going to be super insightful and valuable as well. And there was a very specific catalyst on NIO where a certain court judge has ruled in favor of shareholders potentially filing a lawsuit against NIO for a construction of a factory that never really took place. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, find it helpful. If you do, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us for the first time. Link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. We'd love to have you on board as our money vesting members. So again, you get access to all the alerts, binds alerts, trade ideas, members only private videos. So there's a lot of benefits and a lot of educational content also included. So links are going to be down below. So this right here is going to be the cost basis for SOFI, trading at a little bit under $10 per share. That's the average cost among all investors. That makes only 13.5% of investors currently in SOFI that are profitable in this company at the moment. So if you go over to SOFI right now, trading it now, of course, at 872, down another 3% after yesterday's, of course, sell-off even further. This right here was the big gap up on the earnings. It rallied almost 20%. We have not only given back on all those gains, but more, and of course, coming back down to under $9. So it's filled the entire gap. It's come down to a support. It's now broken down below the 21 EMA, struggling to trade back above that 21 exponential moving average. And of course, support level is going to stay put at 865 for SOFI at the moment. So of course, if you do see a breakdown below this level, next target, unfortunately, as unfortunate as it is, it's going to be closer to those moving averages, sitting roughly at around 640, 650. Now, that being said, we are trading at a very important level of support, which is going to be 865, because we have gotten rejected at those levels not once, twice, and 3 times. And of course, right now, this old resistance is acting as a new support for the company as well. Now, very quickly, I'm just going to break down some of the reports here. Let me see if there's anything interesting about SOFI. If not, then that is, of course, going to be that support level to pay attention to. And of course, resistance is going to stay put at $10. So this right here is going to be that level in a more near-term basis as a resistance for SOFI all the way up to 1375. I know there's a lot of excitement and a lot of sentiment is very much in the right direction for SOFI, and SOFI can be considered as a potential candidate for a 10-bagger going from 8 billion to over 80 billion. So obviously that's going to be on our radar, and of course at lower prices it's going to become no-brainers once again, and we'll be looking at dollar cost averaging at those levels as well. Next one on the list is going to be Tesla. So Tesla here, average cost basis sitting at $250. I'm actually surprised that has moved up so much for Tesla. And that makes only 21% of shareholders currently profitable on this company. Only 21%, because the cost basis has moved up so much on a Tesla stock as it has obviously rallied. And right now, obviously, it's trading at $245. So majority of investors are unfortunately in the red with this stock. Over 80% of investors right now are in the red. And support level is going to stay put at 240, as we have already talked about. And of course, there's been margin pressure. After the earnings came out, we learned more about how margins are compressing for Tesla at the expense of lower prices and of course higher demand and higher volume output. But that being said, I think it's the Apple moment for Tesla, where they are doing this install base, increasing that install base, getting Tesla in the hands of as many people as possible, and then eventually start making money on FSD, software, insurance, solar, and of course Optimus. And there's just a lot of different moving parts when it comes to Tesla in terms of revenue for the long term. So 240 is going to be that support. I'm actually happy that Tesla is selling off and really just trading sideways, because you guys know that I've got covered calls on a Tesla. So if it continues to trade sideways or down, those covered calls obviously are going to do really well for that company. So support level is going to stay put roughly at $240. Of course, if we do break down even further, that area of demand inside this green rectangle is going to be the one to watch next. And of course, my fair value sits as low as 150s, 160s for Tesla. So those are going to be some prices to watch. Next up, we've got PLTR, and PLTR here on the day also selling off. The average cost has been at $16 for the stock. Right now trading at $15.41. That makes about 30%, so a third of investors currently profitable on the shares at the moment. And next support is going to be down to 1375. So this right here is going to be that level to watch for PLTR, excuse me. So that's going to be that next support, and of course resistance all the way up to $19 per share. So we're seeing a lot of consolidation. Of course, we did rally quite a bit, but as I mentioned before, there was a negative divergence, and these rallies are not sustainable, right? You can't expect this to continue forever. At some point, there will be some consolidation, there will be some pullbacks, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So 1379, 1380 is going to be that support. Resistance stays put at roughly around $19 per share. In case we see a breakdown below that 1375 level, next target and next support is going to be all the way down to those moving averages at $10, at which point I would be very interested in dollar cost averaging a little bit more, and of course increasing my exposure in PLTR for the long term as well. And finally, we arrive at NIO, and NIO's cost basis is sitting at roughly $12.17, which still makes majority of the shareholders profitable on NIO, 55%. So that's, again, that's good to know, because NIO obviously has rallied quite a bit. At one point, it was over 90%, right? That's crazy, because over majority, 90% of the shares were currently profitable, but of course it has sold back down a little bit. It has dropped over 18, almost 20%. Something that we did discuss, right? It was getting overbought. RSI, MACD, you can see that it's crossing below that signal line. So that's one of the first signals as to seeing some more potential downside, right? If the MACD crosses below the signal line after being very overbought, RSI over 70, 80 starting to come back down, and so is the price, as we already discussed. So right now we're sitting at the 300 SMA, we're sitting at the 21 EMA, very, very critical areas of support for NIO. In case we see a breakdown below this level, that obviously is not going to be great news, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us maybe in the 1050s, 1060s for NIO as well. So those right there are going to be some levels to also pay attention to moving forward. And of course, resistance is going to stay put all the way up to as much as 1686. That's the lower high that we talked about in one of our previous videos as well. So that's still going to be that resistance to pay attention to. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and a quick technical update on all these companies. Bottom line is NIO coming down from its overbought levels, and of course getting up to almost $15-16 per share. So no surprises there. Support level at those moving averages. In case we see a breakdown, 1061 is going to be that next support. And of course, we've already mentioned Tesla here, 240, very, very important support level. In case we break down, 225, 200 is possible, and Palantir also selling off a little bit after, obviously rallying quite a bit. So support level is going to stay put in the 1370s, 1375, around those levels, all the way down to as low as $10 as that next support in line with those moving averages. And then finally, SOFI, we've got, a huge gap fill after the earnings, gapped up, came back down. Support level is exactly where the price is at 865. If we break down, then of course, low sixes is also a possibility. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you did, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Link to our Discord, Patreon is going to be down below. And again, you get access to everything, all the Binance alerts, options alerts, trade ideas. Everything's going to be included. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.